Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Hello and welcome to I Am Home, the Home Life Best Life podcast. I'm Tyler Weiskup, joined by my co-host who leaps into every topic with perfect form and sticks every landing. It's Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And my other co-host here, whose charm and wit steal the show, it's Hilary Waltemat.
Oh, hi, Tyler.
Hi, Hilary. And today on I Am Home, we're joined by Maddy Unger, a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader whose inspiring journey from early dance days to the iconic uniform shows what perseverance and passion can achieve. We're going to dive into her audition experience, life on the sidelines, and what home means to her. Hi, Maddy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to kind of get into all this with you. We were just chatting before we jumped in. Your journey from being a Nebraska native to all the way to the Cowboys is certainly super inspiring. And I'm really excited for it. Yeah. But let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast. And that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. And you can learn more at nfm.com. So Maddy, one of the things that sticks out to me about your story is this has kind of been a lifelong dream. I read that you were watching the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders making the team with your mom growing up back in the day. And now you're like on the team. I think it was like one of 6 people that made it this last year. So What do you remember like as a kid, like watching the show and imagining yourself in the uniform one day?
Well, me and my mom, like you said, would watch the CMT show growing up. And it was always a dream. And my mom would always tell me that, Maddy, you would be such a great DCC one day. But it felt very far off. Like it really just didn't feel that realistic or that in reach. And so then once I got older, and it was really like my senior year of college that I went to it's kind of like a recruiting type thing. It's a convention during the weekend in Vegas, and it was with a bunch of pro coaches. And that's when I realized I was like, maybe this is something that I could actually do. And so then from there, I just went head first, and then it became reality. Crazy.
It is crazy. Were you at that time? Were you already dancing with the Huskers, or were you okay? So yeah. I'm curious. So, like, I think this dancing with the Huskers is pretty interesting, and the idea that you at that point you'd already been described, I think, in some of the research that I found as somebody like coaches back in your Fusion days, dancing with Millard, West, like you had the it factor back then. So I want to push back on that idea that you thought that you couldn't make it because you had so many people kind of calling attention to that.
Well, I feel like there's just not that many people from Nebraska who go pro. And so, I had only heard of a few girls. And then one of my former teammates at Nebraska, actually, she was a year older than me, but she went on to dance for the Chiefs and still dances for them as well. And so I don't know. I feel like it just kind of was a little bit of an unheard of thing in Nebraska. It's not like that's like a typical thing that people do. And so I don't know. I didn't really have much information on it, and I didn't know too much about it. And so it just kind of always felt pretty far off until I finally dipped my toes into that world a little bit when I went to that convention. It's called Pro Action. Amazing. But once I finally dipped my toes there, then I was like, maybe this is something that a girl from Nebraska can do.
What was it about the Pro Action? Were you describing as like a convention or as like a training camp, or like what was it about that you saw yourself? Was it just matching up with the gals that were there?
Yeah, I think so. So Pro Action is It's like a convention during the weekend for college dancers and pro dancers as well to go learn material, and you get to dance alongside them the whole weekend. And then the day before the actual pro action starts, they have just one day where there's recruiters from professional cheer teams, and they get to watch you, and you get to actually talk to them and learn a little bit more pro style dances. And so I think it was then, and then also just spending the weekend alongside a lot of professional dancers that I was like, I feel like I could maybe do that. Like, I work really hard and put my mind to it. Yeah.
Oh, clearly you have. And again, it's super impressive. When you started telling people that you were auditioning for the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, like what was the reactions from folks?
I think I just am really lucky to come from a super supportive family, and my teammates were so supportive of it too, and all my friends and everything. But yeah, I come from a really good community of people around me. So everybody's just really excited. And I feel like everybody around me was trying to do anything that they could to help, just checking in on the whole process as I was preparing and everything, and just always praying for me and everything. So yeah, it was super, super sweet.
Love that. Love that. So one of the things that we've talked about with some of your teammates and previous teammates is like the DCC, a lot of people think about the glamour, but they don't always think about the work that goes into it. You were kind of alluding to that as well. Like what's one thing that you wish more people understood about like the athletic or physical demands of being a professional dancer?
I would say the work is not just in practice. Like we are working out and trying to keep, we're strength training, we're lifting weights. Dance is a lot of cardio, but like we have to be really strong to be able to have the perseverance to go through a 4-hour game. And then before that, we have to be there like 4 hours before. And so, we're strength training, we're lifting weights. And then also I think just like our performances are meant to look seamless and our game days are meant to look seamless and things like that. But we're practicing before practice, after practice, just trying to put in the work so that we're, not making mistakes out there and that our performances do look seamless. But I don't know. I think that, with something looking seamless comes a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah, I immediately think of y'all jumping into the splits while like locked shoulder to shoulder. Like if anyone, I don't like.
With super big wide smiles and not looking like you're straining.
Yes.
I kind of black out during the jump splits. Honestly, I feel like I have to just not think too much and I just have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. It's so wildly impressive.
Yeah. That's definitely not for everybody.
Maddy, when you're doing that, are you like the practice that you said putting in the work? Do you have the strain face on at that point? Or when do you get rid of the strain face when you're like, this is hard? Because at some point you're like, it's not effortless until it becomes effortless, right?
Right. Yes. I think I probably had a lot more of a strain face when I first started attempting the jump splits in preparation for all of this. But no, I mean, during practice, like when we are all practicing together, you're also practicing your performance. So like we're trying to practice how we're performing. And so I think that we would be proud even if people were to watch us during our practices because, we're practicing with our game faces on and, trying to do it exactly as we would at a game.
Yeah, I mean, I just like watching back clips of our podcast and I'm like, why am I scowling? Like I'm genuinely having a good time, but like smiling and looking like you're not like deep in concentration or like thinking about the next piece of choreography. Like that's real skill. Like I can hardly pull that together for a meeting. I can't imagine.
I think it's easier just, we've all come from performance backgrounds. And so I've been performing since I was 4. I started dance when I was 4. And so I think it is easier when you come from a background like that. But
You're getting that muscle memory, and
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you tell us about the moment when you found out that you made the team? You described it as like the most surreal moment of your life, but what do you remember about like that exact second when you got that call or heard about it in the room?
Yeah, we were walking down thinking that we were going into just another training camp practice. So I feel like at that point I was kind of just, in the zone. I had to really get into the zone for every training camp practice. But so I wasn't really thinking too much about it. And then, but I did know, we did know that was kind of, we were walking down the stairs with 36 people. And it's a team of 36. It's a hard cut.
Yeah.
And so, but we just didn't really know. We didn't really know. So I kind of had maybe a feeling. And then, Charlotte Jones kind of popped around the corner as we were walking into our practice. And she was like, I want to announce and congratulate the new team. And it was like the biggest flood of relief and just excitement. I wanted to call my parents right away and tell them, which luckily I got to not that long after. It was probably 15 minutes after we were told. But it was just, I don't know, just so much gratitude. You put all of that work for months into trying to make this team. And then when it finally happens, it's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like, is it real? Am I dreaming right now?
Yeah. Hard to believe.
But
was there a moment when it did feel real? Like you said, you're getting that call and you're like, oh, there's no way. But then when did it actually feel real? The first time you put on the uniform, first time you're walking out into the stadium, or when?
Yeah. I think we have a thing called Meet the Team, and it's the week of our first preseason game. We do a whole game day run through for our friends and family. And so that's really the first time that we put on the uniform and we're performing. And it's really special because we get to perform for our favorite people, just an audience of our favorite people. Yeah, it's amazing. But
so sweet.
I think that's when it felt real, especially I hadn't seen my family and my former coaches. They were able to make it as well for Meet the Team, but I hadn't really seen them all of training camp because,
How long is training camp?
It was about a month. I think maybe a little over a month this year. Yeah.
That's a long time. Yeah.
That's so long.
But, so once I put on the uniform and was actually performing in front of them, that's when I was like, we had our first audience and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing it. And I think also just seeing the look on my parents' faces and stuff, it was like, this is real. Because they were crying and.
Were you watching them? Did you spot them and have eyes on them, or did you have to look away?
No, I really like when I know that somebody that is there to watch me when they're in the audience, I like to look at them and perform too. It's a little bit more special that way. But.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
One of the things, Maddy, we're always curious about, as a professional athlete, is pre-performance rituals or superstitions before you walk onto the field. Is that something that that you certainly have? Okay, you're shaking your head. Okay, tell me about it.
Well, I always pray. That's first off, and I like to pray with somebody else too. I like to maybe say a prayer over me and my teammate or something like that. But always say a prayer first, and then this is. I don't even know if this actually works, but shaking out the jitters, I actually jump up and down and shake around. Every single time I shake my legs, shake my hands.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I always think try to shake the jitters out literally. So
yeah,
always. Yep. I pray, shake it out.
I think it does help at least loosen you up,
Yeah.
You hear about the superhero if you stand a superhero before you're about to go out and do something brave, it does something up here to get you in the right headspace. I love that.
I know. And I feel when you're nervous, you hold a lot of tension too. So
I'm looking to steal some of these lessons. That's why I asked this question.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to bring that to the podcast, my co-host.
For our next big meeting.
Yeah.
Shake it out.
So we'll get physical with it. Maddy, I want to talk about your home life. we were just chatting before we jumped on to the podcast. You're straight from Nebraska and your family home. What do you remember most about like the home that you grew up in? Was that the same one, or have your parents moved over time?
I mean, I was born in Colorado, but I lived there for like a year. So maybe a little less.
It doesn't
Don't
count.
remember much.
They can't claim you. That doesn't count.
Yes, Colorado can't claim me. But no, yeah. So we lived in the same house. When we moved to Nebraska, we have lived in the same house the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then I moved out. I mean, I went to college in Nebraska. So I was always back at my parents' house during the summers and everything. I have two brothers, so it was a little chaotic. Two brothers. I'm the only girl.
Older,
A younger and an older?
Yep. One. Yeah. And we're all, oddly enough, we're all a year and 11 months apart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how that all played out, but, yeah, a little chaotic, but just, I love my family. My family is my favorite people in the world. So yeah, it was just, I think very fondly of growing up, and I always want to go back home any chance that I can. So.
Yeah. What sticks out most about the house? You talked about like it being chaotic. Is there some like physical trait though that you can think about? Like what, I don't know, but your room or like your family style or something like that. I'm curious, like the physical space.
Yeah. My room was like my sanctuary at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. My room.
Imagine that with two brothers.
Yes. Yeah. Get away from the chaos. No, but my room. So my parents let me redesign my room for the first time. I think it was like my 12th birthday or something. It was like going into middle school. So I had, my walls used to be purple when I was a baby, like a light purple. And then I changed it to like an aqua blue. Like my parents I think it was like one of my birthday gifts or Christmas gifts. Like it was like, you get to redo your room. And so I got to pick everything out. And so I had aqua blue walls, a bunch of different colorful, like eclectic decor. And then for a birthday present later on, when I was probably, I don't know, maybe 16, I was able to redo my room again. And I went more neutral, boho, like, but that was actually that was like one of my favorite gifts that I was able to do twice, actually. Nice. Was redo my room and make it like my own little sanctuary. Yeah.
Nice. What was the idea behind aqua blue at the time? Because that's a bold color.
I know.
I think it's fun.
I don't know how aqua blue would really be a sanctuary. It was bright. I don't know. I think that was just like my personality at the time. I was in middle school. I was young. I was full of energy all the time. And
you're not playing it safe at like 11, 12 years old.
I know.
You're taking
you have like a very like short-term outlook on.
I know. Exactly. Yeah. And then it's like, then when I was like 16, I changed it. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
You went neutral. What was neutral? Yes. Was it like a beige or like what would you go for?
Like a light gray.
A light gray.
Yes, light gray. Everything it was like the theme of the room was like light gray, cream, and black. And then the only color really was green because I had a lot of like plants and things like that.
Oh, nice. Nice. Now, is that something that you carry into your style today? So if somebody like walked into your home today, would they see kind of that same aesthetic, or have you upgraded it? How would you describe it?
I would say now I think now I'm a little bit more like minimalistic boho, if that makes sense. And I like pops. I like little pops of color, but like for my rug, I try to have like kind of like a muted. I like color, but I like it to be like a little bit muted. And then like for decor, I would add like little pops of color. But for the most part, I would say I keep it like pretty minimal. And like, as you guys can probably see, the base color of my apartment is white, which I love. But then it's fun because I get to add like, my rug is kind of like muted a little bit, muted color. But then I have like little pieces of decor and still plants. I'm a plant lover. I mean, they're fake plants, but
I was going to say, I'm impressed with keeping those alive.
Yeah. She took the smart route. She didn't have to keep them alive.
Seriously.
Fake plants now was so good.
That
True.
would be fun to get into though, like taking care of plants. So maybe I'll become a plant mom soon. But
If
It's a good first step.
once,
Yes.
I know that like just talking and seeing like some of your schedules, like the
Mhm.
amount of time that it takes to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, I imagine there's like hardly any time left to adhere to plant
A
maintenance.
watering
So,
schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, some of
I
the
don't-
girls have dogs and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish I
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, the responsibility. Okay, so Maddie, real quick, I have a game that I want to play.
Okay.
This is it's a rapid fire this or that. So
Okay.
all about the tougher side of being a professional dancer. So I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. You pick your favorite. We're just going to go through a few of these.
Okay.
The first one is, what is the greater pressure moment for you? The finals, panel review, or learning choreography on the spot?
Ooh, I would say learning choreography on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes,
Interesting.
I think that if you're at an audition setting and you're learning choreography on the spot, that in itself is kind of an audition. I think that they're kind of watching to see, like, how are you picking it up? Are you stressed? Are you calm? How do you carry yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot to throw at you. And after the panel review, I mean, at that point, you're already done, right? You're just like getting the feedback. So that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Okay. Training must have strength conditioning or flexibility work. Like if you had to pick.
Strength conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of endurance. I think flexibility is, when you're a dancer, yes, you have to keep up on it, but I think that because you've done it for so long, it's just kind of a part of you.
Mm.
But strength, that is something that it's a choice to keep up with. And I think that if you want the endurance, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Recovery day hero. Are you an ice bath or deep tissue massage person?
Ooh, I've only ever gotten a few massages in my life, but when I did, I felt so good afterwards. So I honestly think I'm going to lean more towards that.
Yeah.
I probably need to start doing it more often, but
Yeah.
You should.
Torture yourself for a minute or relax for an hour.
yes, you're right.
I don't think that's that hard
How
of a
am I
choice.
gonna
I can't do the ice baths. Yeah.
Yeah. No way.
Okay. Maddie, last one. Most underrated skill, stamina or memory?
Mm.
Ooh, underrated. I would say stamina. I think stamina, because I think, like, getting a job like this, I had done college game days before, but like at the professional level, it's a whole different ball game, in my opinion. Like, my stamina, I had to work on my stamina after making this team. And I think that they do a really good job of preparing us before games, so that we are like game day ready when it comes to like that first game, your rookie season. But I would say stamina, because it takes, at least for my job, takes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you're telling us like 8 hours just for the practice alone, and I'm sure that doesn't even account for all the extra work that you're doing beyond the practice session that's happening.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Maddie, this has been super fun. No jump split from me here, but that's our show. Thank you again for being here. I want to thank my co-hosts, Becca and Hilary, our producers, Ann and Scott, and of course, all of you listening. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe, do all the things at all the places. And until next time, here's to making your home life your best life, one story at a time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.